Today we're going to talk about enzyme activity and an easy experiment you can do to measure it. Now, enzymes are very important proteins because they are catalysts. They help reactions happen at a faster rate than they might otherwise. And enzymes are all over the place and in every single organism, and they play very, very important roles in helping break down some toxins. So before we start our experiment, the first thing I need to do is put on my safety goggles. Now I'm going to take distilled water and I am going to add 3 milliliters of distilled water to a test tube. Then I'm going to add 3 milliliters of 3% hydrogen peroxide. Now this is just the same hydrogen peroxide that you purchase at a grocery store. It's best though to get fresh right before you're going to do the experiment because fresher peroxide is going to give you a better reaction. This yeast suspension is on a stir plate to make sure we have a nice homogeneous mixture of yeast, and I'm going to take from the center to make sure I have plenty of cells. Then I don't need much because I'm just going to add 3 drops and then give it a nice little swirl to mix it up. And then we're going to add our stopper and connect to our gas pressure sensor. We want to let this sit for a couple seconds to let the pressure start to build up due to the release of oxygen during the chemical reaction going on. And we can see that the reaction actually is already happening because we already have small bubbles starting to form on the top of our solution here. So our yeast are good and the reaction is taking place. So I'm going to go ahead now and start my data collection. Now, what we're measuring here is as the reaction takes place, more and more oxygen gas is going to be released, and that is going to fill the test tube up with more pressure. And that's what we're going to actually be measuring. You can also do this reaction on a little bit of a larger scale using just an oxygen gas sensor, so you can actually measure true concentration of oxygen. Now that my reaction is done, I can actually go and analyze my data and take a look at the rate of reaction that happened in this first trial. So I just highlight the area where the reaction happened and then add a linear curve fit. And I can see that my reaction rate was happening at 0.06 kilopascals per second. And now I have a nice baseline and can easily set up a second experiment to test a variable that I have a question about. So what's nice about this reaction is that it takes place so quickly that it's really easy for students to do some inquiry and test other variables and their effects on enzyme reaction rate. We can do things such as expose the enzyme to different temperatures. We can expose the entire reaction to different temperatures by using water baths. We can also change the amount of enzyme we use by increasing or decreasing the number of drops that we used. We can use pH buffer instead of water to actually see what the effect of different pHs has on enzyme activity. We can even change the concentration of the substrate by just diluting our hydrogen peroxide into different concentrations and see what effect that has on enzyme activity. So hopefully you get some ideas of ways to easily test enzymes in your classroom in a really simple, fast manner. Feel free to leave us comments to let us know what you think are some great ideas of ways to test enzymes as well. Have a great day.